Okay, last but absolutely not least, and I mean this time until we open it up for you guys to ask some questions. I wanted to talk about some tips and tricks of the trade. So we wanted to add this as kind of a reoccurring segment where we talk a little bit about some things that OpenPlay can offer you and allow you to kind of expand how you're utilizing your data. In this case today, we're going to focus on works. And I know some people are awesome at adding every single work contributor, all of the archival information that you might have and publishing information. And some people don't know what a work is in OpenPlay. So I want to address the person in the middle and maybe the person on that who doesn't know what in the world I'm talking about right now, and help you guys a little bit and to talk about what a work is, what the composition level is, and how that can be utilized. So I'm going to go back to, I've created it. It's going to stay for a little bit, our West With You release. And we're going to go down to the track level. So I'm going to go to track 1. And as I scroll down, we've got all of our track metadata, our ISRC information. At the bottom here, we have associated works. Now, what a work is it's your composition information. So all of this is going to be stored here in that work. So you have the ability to either do one of two things. You can add a work and add a new work, or you can add an existing work. What this allows you to do is, if you have a work that's been created before, maybe I have a West With You live that I'm creating a track for, I can still use that same West With You composition. I don't have to create a live version because it's the same composition, and we'll revisit this in a few minutes. But this will allow you to link that same composition, or if you have a compilation or a song that's been kind of a mashup, so to speak, then you can go ahead and do that as well. If you have, the full song within your catalog, and maybe one of your artists added it as a chorus or a tag to another recording, then you can go ahead and add those associated compositions all here as well. In fact, you can even order them in specific orders too. But let's go ahead and jump into this one. So this is what your work level looks like, and it's going to have 3 sections that are really, really important, along with some additional information. So you have your core details. This is going to be all of your main metadata associated to the management of that work. So you've got your title, your music type, right? So pop, non-classical, and classical, pretty much anything that's not classical specific, and you will know if it's classical, is going to be pop non-classical. You can store an ISWC here. If you have an International Standard Music Work Code, you can put that here and store it, along with, if you have an internal label work code, so a composition code, whether it be a publishing number of some sort, this can be stored here, as well as a partner ID can be stored on this level as well, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. But what you can do is you can also add your copyright year, your language in which the work is written, along with if there is a publishing or royalty or licensing agency specifically for this published work, you can add that here. So in this case, we chose CSAC. So going down to the next section, that's really, 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 really important, your contributors. So who the heck wrote this song? Please capture this. Your writers deserve this. But we want to add all of our contributors. So, in this case, we added the band as a contributor, as a composer, and then myself and my teammate Satchel, because we are this amazing songwriting team that no one knows about and has never written a song together. But you can choose from all of these different roles. There's everything from adapter, arranger, composer, editor, lyricist, all of these different things. So you can capture specifically what that person used, along with their specific affiliation, if they have a publisher that is recognized, as well as a split percentage and country of legal origin. So you can add that along with all of your publishing information. So here's that 3rd section that I mentioned. If you have one publisher for everything, good for you. That's awesome. I hope you're pocketing all of that and handing it off to your contributors as well. But We can put our rights and admin information here, all of your, if you have specifically affiliation or that publisher does, along with the split percentage and country. And then you can add your specific other publishers. And obviously, some of these, the order is going to matter. So again, we have the ability to move these publishers around to match the order of your contributors as you are sending this out, if in maybe like a label copy or something like that, or capturing it just for yourself. So that is there along with any additional details. So you can capture all of your keywords, your description. Keywords will be something that you can search by and keep. Along with your description. If you have a description for the work, you can add this here, and lyrics. If you have lyrics that you have on hand, you can add these and save these here so that they can be utilized in the future. And that is the basis of works. Obviously, we want to capture all of our publishing data as much as we can. And this is a great way to get your publishing teams involved in OpenPlay, invite them in, have them bring this data in, and have it as that kind of one single source of truth as a repository specifically for not only your digital and your physical products, but also for some of that publishing information as well. And one thing I wanted to point you guys to is in your manage area, you have partner IDs. And this is a section that allows you to add specific codes so that you can manage the partner name and the ID name of to releases, works, and tracks. So in this case, if I had, let's say, an Apple partner name is the partner, I have a specific ID that goes with every work that I send to Apple. I can actually create a partner ID for that. I can create a matchwork. So what I'll do is you can either add one specific code at a time. So it'll say find by ISWC or label work code. So I would put that label work code that we assigned for that work here, or I can browse my works, which is super helpful. If you don't know it, you can go through and add the name and search it. And then you can add that ID. Now, if you don't want to do this one by one, let's say you have a massive amount that is going to be added. And again, this applies for UPCs, ISRCs, and work or composition level. You can actually batch upload this. And what this allows you to do is to create a CSV file and have it specifically in this format. So you have ISWC, comma, exclusive partner code. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to add that, if it's the ISWC or the label work code, you add this on the left side, separated by a comma, and then you add your new partner code that you want, in this case, our Apple ID, and you upload that file, and now it will give you a full batch of whatever codes that you had there. So what that looks like is that when you go into your whether again UPC, ISRC, work, when you go into that, you can select it here, and you're going to see that that extra code here in other IDs. So in this underneath my publishers, I've got an Apple ID, an RM work ID, and a different Apple ID that was added to this specific composition because I need those extra specific codes attached. And we're actually working on some really cool functionality that's going to allow you to export a CSV or an Excel file with all of these codes all in one file, as well as to be able to delete if you have, let's say, an erroneously made partner ID group, or you have maybe stopped using that group entirely. Maybe your Record Maestro work codes are no longer relevant. You'll be able to delete those as well. Again, nothing's ever fully deleted in OpenPlay, so that will still live in a deleted section, but it will allow you to manage those a little bit better. So yeah, that's kind of a crash course in works and partner IDs and some of their importance. So open the floor. Any questions on that? And then we have about 12 minutes if you guys have any other specific questions that I can help you guys walk through. So Works and partner IDs. Any questions?
No, Chris, I would just point out that OpenPlay delivers this works information to DSPs, and increasingly this is important just to ensure that all of your works are attached to recordings for things like mechanicals and the like. So you just want to be sure and maximize your revenue from all sources, and by having that link between recordings and works natively created by you at source ensures that those two will always be associated, will always stick together. You don't have to worry about matching or any matching that somebody else might do. So that's why it's one of the reasons it's so important.
Yeah, and you're always able to see all of the associated or associations that you've with tracks in any work. So if this track at most in the test has been added to, let's say, 5 different works, you'll see all of those here, along with all of the releases that those tracks are associated with as well. So you always have kind of that ability to look back into what has been added and where those associations are, which is incredibly helpful as you're looking at where things have been utilized and have been added in the market. As well, one thing always to note, the DSPs have in short mentioned that they love having this data because they also use it and display it, and will sometimes get you better, can't confirm this, take this with a grain of salt, but will sometimes get you better placement because you have some of this extra metadata available along with all of these, this contributor and writer information. I've seen it, can't confirm it, take it with a grain
of salt. People search for songwriters as well as artists.
Yep, so, exactly.
Yep. And also the DSPs in the US submit this data to the MLC. Yep. So I don't know how many labels here are directly submitting their catalog to the MLC, but if you're not, the MLC needs this data in order to pay mechanicals.
It's a great note.